The Pikes Peak Hill Climb is an international event, and it's the second longest running motorsports event in the world. So it not only has state heritage, national heritage, but internationally it's highly respected. The course, it is a hill climb. It's one car at a time, 12.46 miles. 152 turns, and it's divided into three sections: the lower, middle, and upper. And you tackle it in that way. The start line is 9,280 feet. The finish line is 14,110 feet. So the respect for the mountain is paramount. You've been chosen to drive the mountain, which is, they really filter at the entry. And we had to do some modifications to this car for our first climb in 2012. Every car that we run through Busby Racing is safe, but they took us to another notch.
Will creep. You know, you're throwing not only steepness to it, but almost an off camber. And if the car is so structurally, you know, it almost wants to lift a wheel up. It's that long. It's as long. It feels as long.
The Pikes Peak Hill Climb had major interest from manufacturers, from local drivers. It's one of the paramount features in Colorado Springs. When you drive through town, you see this massive mountain. Well, they named it after this guy Pike, and it's Pikes Peak. The big challenge then was, I wonder if a horse and wagon can get up there. Well, what happens at 14,000 feet? There's less air, isn't there? So a team of horses would have to be changed. Then all of a sudden, cars came onto the horizon. And it was a brilliant test bed for major manufacturers.
Pikes Peak, the most famous mountain in America, thunders its defiance. And Chevrolet accepts the challenge. A Chevrolet truck will ascend to the top of Pikes Peak off the road, straight up the face of the mountain, all the way to the top. 14,110 feet up in the clouds.
It's like winning in road racing Le Mans. It's a manufacturer against manufacturer. It's like the Daytona, but this is a hill climb. You don't run side by side. They stagger the starts. And thank God they do. It's only a 2-lane road.
My name is Julian Mann, and I am blessed to be partnered up with Rick Knoop and the Busby Garage in the effort of the Knoop-Mann Special run by Team Obama. And basically, my background has always been an avid motorsports fan.
You're going to push like crazy on the Titan, right? And if you set it up for that, then you're screwed elsewhere, right?
Yeah, but I mean, being a rookie, there's so much I don't know. You know, I've had so much. Everybody's offered such good advice, and the thing is, everybody's been, you know, lending good advice. And so this, I just couldn't be more excited.
So the special was a labor of love between Rick, myself, the Busby Garage, where we had a vision to bring tremendous horsepower with the elegance and beauty of the 50s and 60s era cars together and build a tribute to the heroic generation of our forefathers and in particular Rick's father and my father, all in the military during World War II, who came back and raced cars like this. And what we did was say, okay, we want to take those cars, but we want to bring them up to a modern day level so that at 50 yards away they kind of look like the old cars, but you know what? They go faster than stink.
My name's Rusty Darrell. I'm
probably one of the original crew guys from the Lister. I've been with the car for 4 years. I change tires, engine, maintenance setup. If something needs to be painted or touched up, I do that.
My name is Willie, and I help prepping the cars for the races we go to. Done a bit of everything there. Mechanic, gopher. Just another brutal car. I mean, I would say it's possibly similar to the Can-Am cars, how they were. Except it has the engine up front. Belongs to an owner who wants a effing big engine in there and a lot of horsepower.
My name is Steve Bounds, and I'm a mechanic here at Busby Racing. I met Rick when he was a driver here for Busby's in the Lola Mazdas, and he was actually on the car that I was working on. He was one of the drivers, and just got close. We were a pretty tight team at the time. We'd go out and have fun together and work hard together and race hard together.
It's an 8-month preparation. We're already preparing right now in this shop for 2015. The Knoop-Mann Special doesn't go, but I drive another car, but it's about an 8-month lead-in. You know, many people think of Mulholland and some of these canyon roads in Southern California. Well, you multiply that and a song called Dead Man's Curve by Jan and Dean, and you get a little bit of the ingredients of what this 152 turns are all about. And you've been invited to dance there, and you better have your right shoes on.
The car runs so well now, you can see the way it launches around the pits. So we quietly leave, give them hell on the track, and then we come back. And I think that's what I would like to have done almost every time. Because if we look a little too frantic, and I'm not saying we do, I like the fact that we have the option, but let me come back to Mothership, and then we have the sort of download we had. And I think because my heart's beating as well, we all are, because we're up at altitude. But right now, we're in a good position to attack the hill.
Wednesday at Pikes Peak. Qualified 4th. Nice and warm up here, 14,100 feet. Haven't been here for 2 years. We go worldwide. We're national but neighborly. Yeah, it's cold.
After our maiden victory as rookies, we were bitten, and we knew that we had to step up our game. The Busby garage, with the combination of David Bruns, noted Swift engineer, and then Leon Patton, stepped up with some very, very significant power increases. And so at the end of the day, we thought, you know what, this is one bad you know what.
We built them a special big cubic inch small block Chevrolet just for the Pikes Peak event here. It made over 925 horse and 750 foot-pounds of torque, and only can be run at higher altitudes.
As I say, it's 152 turns. So to have that to memory and to mix the elevation changes, you go from the tree section all the way to granite rock. You go from corners that have a high angle of attack down to first gear to wide open in top gear and 156 miles an hour. Many of these corners at Pikes Peak you cannot see because you're coming over a rise and you have to count to 3 and all of a sudden a mountain range will appear. Then you turn in. You don't want to save anything because after that corner there's a large straightaway. You got to wait on a couple of corners there. I said, my God, all I see are the clouds. Well, Rick, wait until you see a mountain come up, then turn in. Well, if you don't turn in then, you pay an awful price there. It just doesn't wreck your afternoon or your team chances for the rest of the year. It's your life.
I think anybody who wouldn't tell you that they are scared and daunted and exhilarated by that mountain, it would be kidding you. For guys like Rick and myself, yeah, it's a little spooky, but we live for this stuff. All it said to us is, you know, we need more power. Okay, we need more wing. We need more gear. We need to be back here, and we need to win.
The first time we went to Pikes Peak, God, we were excited because we run a full-blown road racing schedule as well. And they said, who are you guys? And I briefly described, and I was, have you climbed the mountain? No? And they said, can we see a picture of the car? Of course. My dad built a special. Knoop Huffegger, now we got the Knoop-Mann. Well, it started off as a Beck tribute to a Lister. Julian Mann bought this car. And as the motors started getting bigger and bigger in it, Julian approached me and says, would you care to drive it? And I said, well, okay. And we had quite a few challenges. So we had a town hall meeting here in November of 2010, and the reaction from this professional garage was astounding. Knoop, how in the hell are you driving this? So what happened is we started a very, very comprehensive makeover. Roll center was addressed by David Bruns. He's got IndyCar fame. We had architectural drawings, CAD drawing, computer-assisted drawing, more drawings that I had in my first house. So we address things called grip and traction. It has structural rigidity. It has grip. It's got massive horsepower. Power steering. God, it just does everything pretty darn good. It's a front engine car, but the motor's in my lap. It's 20 inches back from the front axle. Heat management was huge. I'll never forget the first day we tested it. I mean, there was the roll cage and all the safety, you know, the steel chassis was so hot with my gloves off that I could hardly get out of the car. I had to put my gloves back on to get out. It was so hot because the motor's in your lap. Gosh, we've come a long way. And God, is this car embraced. You know, a major factor in the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb, and you can't deny it, is preparation. It's one thing to have the car ready, but the team has to be ready. Driver has to be ready. You know, training is often looked at as a deposit slip. You know, if you always have something there. You can't buy training. You have to attend. Your attendance is vital. High intensity circuit training, which is basically a 1 hour from circuit to circuit, and it taxes your upper, middle, and lower extremities. I also complement it in the morning at 5 a.m. I'm on an elliptical machine going approximately three miles every morning. So I basically am doing everything physically possible so I can give this shop, the team, and the car owner my maximum clear focus.
I am Julia Juliuson. I've been a physical therapist for 26 years. Rick Knoop is one of my VIP clients. So we started a rehab program on his shoulders and his core to add or supplement his personal training with Eric here at the gym. We want to maximize Rick's potential to race at the highest of levels. So Rick has to be in very good shape. He has to have better than average strength, better than average range of motion. He's got to have the fitness level of someone 20, 30 years younger than himself.
Hi, my name is Eric Parizic. My background's Bachelor of Science in Exercise Physiology. But what's really important for Rick's training is we try to simulate what he goes through, what's going on in the car. The number one thing that we fight is the heat. So with race car drivers, it's actually, you got to train them just like a triathlete would. His average races are anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes. And so whatever race is coming up is what, if he has a 45-minute race, then I will train him for an hour. So therefore, I take him past that threshold. So once he gets in that car, the fitness problem is no big deal.
The physical preparation, the mechanical, the fabricating, all this, a whole different set of rules. But the accuracy of the car had been proven. Have we proven ourselves at Pikes Peak? Absolutely not. And to end up running as well as we did, we got an awful lot of respect. I knew that we could do this. The situation awareness I've learned when I was a little kid driving ranch equipment and flying airplanes. You put all those ingredients together and we ended up with a fine finish in 2012.
When you run a big inch Chevy called a Knoop-Mann Special, and you know what? The difference between 2012 and 2014, we went from exhibition to unlimited and we finished second.
Now it was different. We had won in 2012. In 2014, this is Rick Knoop, and we just saw you entered. We like it. We have a good fan base now from the 2012 phase, and now we've modified the car even more so. The roll centers have been dropped. We've got just motion ratios and all these things that make race cars go, bigger wings. So 2014, they said, you guys are accepted, but you have to run the unlimited division.
Rick Knoop is going to take this son of a bitch, pardon my French, right up that mountain, okay? And what he's going to do is going to show some of those folks from Europe how you actually do it. Yeah, obviously one of the challenges at this altitude is you're starting at 9,400 feet, which is already almost 2 miles high. But the thing is you're going to finish at 14,100 feet, which is very, very high. There's a lot less oxygen up there. So you have a challenge of getting the car to run just at the starting line. I'll tell you, you have a challenge of having your generator running that's going to get your oil heated up and so forth. So there's a lot of elements with altitude that creates a lot of challenges. But the hard part is to have that motor run at the starting line, but also run okay up top. And this is where Leon Patton stepped in with our Motec computer controls to allow the motor to constantly adjust and sort of recalibrate itself as it goes up the hill. Plus we used a special oxygenated fuel that effectively provided oxygen into the engine while you're combusting it, even though there was less oxygen to the outside.
Race day is Sunday. Now you're putting everything together. We're in the unlimited division. That's the big dog class. We're arriving about 6 in the morning. You know, I've done a lot of racing, and this clearly is what the butterflies start setting in. I've only been there twice. It's one of the officials there. He gave me a bag and he says, Knoop, I want you to have these. I said, what are these? There were 2 bull elk front teeth. And I guess a bull elk up there, it's almost like a lucky charm, like a St. Christopher medal if you're going to sail to Hawaii or around the world. And I thought, you know what? These guys do love us, and I was really moved. I was not pacing in the trailer, but I was staying by myself and collecting my thoughts, keeping a good, solid, accurate run, and I really want to go well. I'm very proud for everybody that's been part of this program. This wasn't done with a piece of chalk and a chalkboard. This is etched in the book. We did a fine time. We did 10 minutes and 17 seconds. And when you think of 152 turns and 12.4 miles, we're okay. And being on the top of that mountain and looking up and putting my team jacket on, and the car's up there, and I was looking down from 14,000 feet, and there was something I really haven't felt before. I was about as close to where my father would be. He's passed away, and it's an American powered special. We were okay. Guys, they were down at 9,000 feet, the crew. They looked about the size of a piece of chewing gum. And America the Beautiful was written up there. It's a big deal.